Are you ready to take your terrain crafting to the next level? Then come on up to my studio and let's get started with production style crafting. Now, I don't want to give away all my secrets just yet, but let's just say my process involves a lot of caffeine, a little bit of chaos, and a whole lot of glue. What is production style crafting? Production style crafting is a method of creating items in a streamlined and efficient manner. It involves breaking down the creation process into smaller steps and optimizing each step for speed and quality. This approach is used in many manufacturing industries, and I've adapted it to suit my terrain crafting business. By using production style crafting, I can create multiple pieces of terrain at once while maintaining consistency in the final products. It's honestly kind of like going to the gym, but instead of working on your abs, you're working on your crafting skills. And instead of a personal trainer yelling at you, you have me whispering encouraging words like, just a few more cuts, you can do it. What are the benefits of production style crafting? One of the biggest benefits of production style crafting is efficiency. By breaking down the creation process into smaller steps, I can optimize each step for speed and quality. This means that I can create more pieces of terrain in a shorter amount of time. Additionally, this approach allows me to maintain consistency in the final product. By using the same technique and materials for each piece of terrain, I can ensure that they all look and feel the same. With production style crafting, you can make terrain faster than a dwarf can down a pint of ale. So, if you're in a hurry to set up your next epic battle, or you just want to impress your gaming group, this is the perfect approach for you. Batching. One key element of production style crafting is called batching. Batching involves creating multiple pieces of terrain at once, rather than crafting each one individually. This allows me to optimize each step of the process and make better use of my time. For example, rather than making just one piece of terrain, carving it, gluing it together, assembling it, painting it, and all that, I'll work on more than one piece, say 3 to 12 pieces of terrain, and I'll do each step in order. So first step, I'll carve the foam. Next step, I'll assemble everything. Next step, I'll paint it all black, and so on and so on. And this really does save a lot of time compared to making each piece individually. Batching is like a terrain crafting assembly line. It's just like Henry Ford said, why make one rock formation at a time when you can make a whole bunch at once? Standard operating procedures. Another important aspect of production style crafting is the use of standard operating procedures, or SOPs. These are step-by-step instructions for each stage of the creation process. SOPs ensure that each piece of terrain is made the same way every time, which leads to more consistency in the final product. Additionally, SOPs help train new employees if I ever decide to have employees. And really, when we're crafting terrain in our own at-home studio, it can be something as simple as keeping a notebook of all your processes and measurements for each type of terrain that you build, or even just writing the procedures on your homemade templates that you're measuring the terrain with. SOPs are like your mom when you're baking cookies. She tells you exactly what to do and how to do it, and if you don't listen, you'll end up with a mess in the kitchen. And just like your mom, SOPs are always right. Applying production style crafting to terrain building. Now that you understand what production style crafting is and its benefits, let's see how I apply it to terrain building. When I start a new set of projects, I break down the creation process into smaller steps. For example, say I need to create 4 sets of 3 rock formations for a total of 12 pieces of terrain. I'll start by carving the foam for all the pieces. Then I'll assemble the foam, texture the surfaces of everything, and then paint everything step by step. By optimizing each step, I can create multiple rock formations at once while maintaining consistency in the final product. And honestly, usually I have several different sets of things that I'm working on at once. That way, while something's drying, say I just painted it black and it needs to dry overnight or something, I'll be working on something else while that's drying. With production style crafting, you will be able to create terrain pieces faster than a kender can manifest a pouch full of goodies. Tools and equipment. Using the right tools and equipment is essential for production style crafting. For example, I use a hot wire foam cutter to quickly and efficiently carve foam for my terrain pieces. By investing in the right tools and materials, you can improve your efficiency and the quality of your final product. If you're still using a butter knife and ketchup bottles to craft your terrain, it's time to level up your game. Managing your workspace. When you're working on multiple pieces of terrain at once, it's important to keep your workspace organized and tidy. And sometimes I do sort of fail at this. I get kind of into the processes and leave stuff out, but eventually I do end up tidying up, and it helps my workflow a lot. This can really help you stay focused and reduce the amount of time you spend searching for tools or materials. One example of this is the pegboard wall that I've set up behind my desk so that all my basic tools that I use on a regular basis are just within arm's length. And I also have paint set up there, everything that I need right around my desk. Also, making sure to clean up after each step of the process does avoid clutter and potential safety hazards. If you're anything like me, you've probably spent a lot more time looking for a tool than actually using it. Don't be like me. Keep your workspace organized and you'll save time and sanity. Essential materials. One key element of production style crafting is selecting the right materials. Not all materials are created equal, and using the wrong materials can slow down the crafting process and result in lower quality final product. When selecting materials, I often consider factors like durability, ease of use, and cost. For example, I often use higher quality XPS foam for creating terrain, as it's lightweight, easy to carve, and relatively inexpensive. If you're using the wrong materials, you might as well be carving turkey with a spoon. It's just not going to turn out right. Scaling your production. Once you've mastered production style crafting on a small scale, you may want to consider scaling your production to meet larger demands, or just to make more terrain. This could involve outsourcing certain steps of the process, such as painting or packaging, to other individuals or companies. Alternatively, if you like doing most of the work yourself, like me, you could invest in larger or more efficient tools and equipment to help you create even more pieces in less time. For example, laser engravers and 3D printers can really take your builds to the next level. By scaling your production, you can seriously take the terrain crafting to the next level. I treat my laser engraver like it's my loyal assistant. It never talks back, never asks for a raise, and copies my work faster than any human ever could. Plus, it doesn't even need coffee breaks. Additional techniques. In addition to batching and SOPs, there are other techniques that I'm always on the lookout for that I use to optimize the production style crafting process. For example, I sometimes create reusable molds for certain terrain features, such as rocks or decorations that go on buildings and whatnot. This allows me to create multiple pieces quickly and efficiently. I also use a variety of different templates and jigs to ensure consistency in the size and shape of all my terrain pieces. On another note, I've also been thinking of making a mold of myself so I can have a whole army of me to help with crafting. Continuing to improve your craft. Production style crafting is a continuous process of improvement. By tracking your progress and analyzing your results, even if just in your head, you can identify areas for improvement and make changes to your crafting process. This could include trying out new materials or techniques, or investing in additional training or education. By continuing to improve your craft, you can stay ahead of the times and create high-quality terrain pieces that people love more and more. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was your crafting empire. Keep striving for improvement, and one day you could be the Caesar of crafting. Conclusion and final thoughts. Production style crafting is a method of creating items in a streamlined and efficient manner. By breaking down the creation process into smaller steps and optimizing each step for speed and quality, I can create more pieces of terrain in a shorter amount of time. Additionally, by using batching, SOPs, and other techniques, I can ensure that each piece of terrain is made the same way every time. Whether you're running a terrain crafting business or just looking to improve your crafting skills, production style crafting is a technique worth considering. Join the production style crafting revolution. More terrain, less time, more fun.